Welcome back to the channel. My name is David, and today we're watching The Expanse, Season 1, Episode 5, Back to the Butcher. This show, people, there is just so much to this show. There's so much to talk about. I really think I could probably talk about this show for like a half hour in this intro. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to keep it short. Brevity is our friend. That's what I'm going with on this one. But first, I'd like to say thank you to all the people in the comments section for answering my question about the timeline on the last episode. This is our timeline. I appreciate it. In fact, I found out that this is the same timeline as The Martian, which is pretty exciting because I have seen that movie many times. It's one of my favorite movies. Every time I'm flipping through the channels and it's on, I always stop. Doesn't really matter what part of the movie it's in. I really enjoy that movie, so that was exciting. So I would like to start off real quick by talking about the battle in the last episode, because I have to say, with 4 episodes down, I kind of feel like we've witnessed Mars, the military and their intelligence agency, make a few mistakes that kind of surprised me. For the first one, I guess it could be argued if it was a mistake or not. When Frank told the Mars intelligence about the info that he got from Christian, there were several people who said that really wasn't on Frank, and I agree with you. I overreacted. It really wasn't on Frank. Frank was giving information like he was supposed to. He was just doing his job, and from a very reliable source, by the way. He just got played. He didn't know it. Frank did nothing wrong, so I take back what I said about Frank. But I do feel that the intelligence agency overreacted a bit. I feel like an argument could be made for that. Whether it's a mistake or not, I guess that could be argued. But I just felt like they should probably have a plan in place a little bit better to vet out information, even if it's coming from a trusted source. They have to know they're being watched, right? And they immediately sent out, people to check the 9 installations, and suddenly Earth knew it. So I'm counting that as a mistake. I kind of feel they overreacted a bit. Another mistake they made, I felt, was with the jammers. They allowed Holden to get his message out when Alec said the jammers were in range, because I did mishear that the first time, because I was surprised that Holden's message got out. But then you have to kind of question, why weren't the jammers on to begin with? Because even Captain Yao, I believe that's her name, right? Captain Yao, the Donager, said that message is the type of message that could lead to war. And then Lopez was like wanting Holden to recant and said, just, say this about Naomi, whether it's true or not, to buy us some time. I kind of felt like they had an opportunity to stop that message just by turning on the jammers. That might not be a mistake, because I don't know the technology. I don't know what it takes to turn on the jammers. Maybe it's a process. And they were in the process of turning on the jammers and they were too late. But if it's not a process and they could have turned it on prior to making contact with that shuttle, I kind of feel like that's on them a little bit, another mistake. And then the last one, obviously, I don't really know if this is a mistake or not. I think they just got outmatched with the stealth ships. They lost. When I was watching that battle last episode, for most of the battle, I didn't really actually think they were going to lose. I was giving Captain Yao a really hard time. I really was. I was talking about, her carrying the coffee. I was talking about how she wasn't taking it seriously, stuff like that. If she had taken it seriously, it might not have changed the outcome. They still might have lost, because it's pretty clear these stealth ships and the people manning them, I don't know who they are, has some very advanced technology. So the outcome might have been the same. I was just surprised. That's all it was. I was surprised that they lost. I wasn't really expecting that to happen on the 4th episode. The Mars flagship go down. Hats off to the writers for keeping me guessing. It seems like every episode, I just keep getting punched in the face with the dose of reality here. I don't know what's going on, but I kind of like that, though. I like shows like that. Now, during the battle, though, or before the battle, there were a couple of conversations that happened on the Donager that I want to talk about real quick. One of them was Captain Yao talking to Holden. She was talking about how, she had years of experience on fighting the pirates who were trying to steal the terraforming technology going to Mars and stuff. And she made a comment that kind of stuck out to me, where she said that, some of them I'm sure were good guys, but sometimes you have to kill to preserve. And that right there, that's kind of a statement right there that I kind of think, really, if that's Mars's and Earth's idea of what, how things should be, sometimes you have to kill to preserve. That's kind of shocking, actually, because they want the way they live to just go on how it is. And if you have to kill somebody, you have to kill somebody. Well, if you look at what's happening to the Belters and how bad the Belters being treated, you can kind of understand, how they're being called, or they're calling themselves slaves. OPA's fighting for them. I'm guessing the stealth ships are fighting for them, stuff like that. I think their mentality is sometimes you have to kill to make change, because they don't want the status quo going on. So that statement right there kind of stuck out to me, because it kind of puts Mars and Earth in a really bad light, that they're going to kill to preserve their way of life. But then at the same time, you hear Lopez talking to Holden about, what it's like life on Mars. And I also go back to Frank's conversation with Christian, where he said that he loves Mars because the people are working in a collectively to basically make a garden on a rock or something like that. I can't remember the quote, but it was something like that. It was poetic. And when you listen to Lopez talk, you really get a sense that everyone on Mars is really working hard to change the planet. And it really can't be for them, right? I don't know the technology going into terraforming a planet, but it's really not for them. It's really more for their kids and their grandkids and future generations. They're really not going to get a chance to enjoy everything that they've done, because I gotta imagine it takes a long time to do this here. So like when Lopez was saying he really wished he could see a ocean on Mars, they're working their butts off, people, to make a better place for future generations, stuff like that. So that really shows what kind of people they are. So you're talking about two really contrasting statements right there. Sometimes you have to kill to preserve, but then Lopez talking about that. This show is complex, people. It is complex, but I'm really enjoying the show. I really am. But let's talk a little bit about Holden now and what Holden did. Okay, so last episode, I think I said Holden has no friends. Well, he's got a lot of friends now. I have a hard time believing that Alec, Amos and Naomi, they are, look at everything they've been through in just 4 episodes. They have been through a lot. So I have a feeling they're sticking together. And I kind of get the feeling now that Naomi's probably going to cede the leadership responsibilities back to Holden. I'm not exactly sure if rankings really matter. I have to remind myself, they're not military people. They were working for a corporation. So these aren't like, well, I say that. I know they're ex-military, at least like Alec and Holden were, but they were working for a corporation, so it was more the rankings on that ship. I don't really know how much they care about it, but I'm just saying overall, I kind of feel like Holden is back in charge, at least for now, and I think everything's good right there. He did them a solid. They'd be dead. Holden doesn't go back. They're dead, and Holden had a way out. So hats off to Holden for doing that. I think that's going to pay off. Now, there was a couple of other things that happened in the last episode I wanted to talk about really quickly that kind of stuck out to me. I'm kind of finding in this show, there's like 1 or 2 sentences that just kind of stick out, and they just take me rogue, and I just think about them for a while. The story's going this way, but then you hear something, and you think about it. First thing was that, what was it called? It was the Tycho Station. I think it's Tycho Station, where they're building a ship called the Nauvoo, I believe. Okay, a couple of things about this real quick. First off, it looked like a badass ship. I'm kind of impressed with it. But if I heard it correctly, is this ship designed to travel for 100 years to another star system where other planets or something like that? Do we have that technology? Because that seems like some highly advanced technology right there. So I'm going to keep an eye out for that. My first thought is if you're traveling 100 years, do we have the ability to freeze people and put them in a hibernated state for decades and decades? Because that seems like really advanced technology. Or I guess the other option is it's just a massive city and people are going to be on there, a lot of people living their lives, and when they get there, they're going to be basically a whole new generation of people. I guess that's a possibility too. My mind went straight to freezing people though, so I don't know. So I'm kind of curious about that, but the real curious statement was when the leader of the Mormon group was talking to Mr. Johnson, and Mr. Johnson said, we're in the business of spinning asteroids, not build ships. In fact, the feeling I got was, well, then why are you building a ship? Are there not shipbuilders? Because now I kind of feel like the Mormons are wanting this ship built like off the books. Like this is secret. Like no one's supposed to know. That's what I got. This seems a little bit suspect to me. Why would you go to an asteroid spinning company to have a ship built? There's got to be shipbuilders. So I'm going to keep an eye out for that, because that really got my curiosity peaking a little bit. So there are so many things that I'm actually making a list here, people. Making a list of little things that I'm like, I want to keep an eye out for. The list is long. We go back to the first episode. I want to see what this biogel looks like. If you can replace an arm with biogel, what's the mechanics of that? Little things like that. Another comment in the last episode, or a statement, was the age of the Earthers, the Martians, and the Belters. 123 for Earthers, even better on Mars, but 68. That is terrifying, people. That really shows just how little Mars and Earth care about, or maybe not how bad they care about them, but how bad the Belters have it. What a age disparity. That's terrifying, actually. 68 versus 123. And another thing about the 123, I have to admit, I don't actually know how old people are on Earth now. I have been going this whole series thinking we'll take Christian for an example. She is a grandmother. So in my head, I've been thinking she's like 50s, 60s, right? 50s or 60s. Right now, our average age range is 80. But then I was thinking, well, I guess maybe we expanded life on the back end and the quality of life on the back end. And I was really interested in seeing what someone who's 120 looks like. And I kind of hope we get to see it. But then I started thinking, what if the way we age has changed proportional to the new age expectancy of 123 years? But then that would mean Christian is actually 90. And I am having a hard time wrapping my head around that. Right now, that's not what I'm thinking. But I am looking for evidence of that now whenever I watch the Earth scenes. Because I really don't know. Is Christian closer to 60 or closer to 90? I have no idea. I don't know. Little things like that has nothing to do with the story, I'm thinking. It's just something I'm curious about when I heard that the average age is 123. It's little things like that that just take me off-road. And I'm finding that happens a lot in this show. I gotta focus, people. Keep in mind, I'm not too bright. I'm not bright at all. I can go off-road just like that, and I'm going to try like hell to refocus on the story because there is a lot of detail in the story. As far as Miller and Havelock goes, really don't know what to expect there because it sounded like, welcome back Havelock, by the way. It sounded like Miller was leaving a message for Havelock. The impression I got was he's about to go dark for a little bit, so I don't really know what that means. If he's just going to, I don't know if he's leaving series or not. I don't know what that means. So that's kind of what I'm anticipating there. I don't really know what to expect from them. But welcome back, Havelock. I'm guessing he's going to be laid up for a little bit while he recovers like that. I don't know. There's so much. I'm trying to keep this short. I could talk about this for a half hour. We're going to keep it short. I say that. We're already at 10 minutes. I apologize for that, people. Let's just get into this next episode. But before we do, if you could hit that like button and subscribe, I would appreciate it. We're working hard here. Peanut just hit those buttons. I would really appreciate it. Let's check out this next episode. All right, we're back in series. Oh, so if he's seeing Havelock, I was curious if he was going to know Havelock was hurt. And now I'm curious to see how Miller reacts.
You're an idiot. Nice to see you too, Miller.
Is he going to go after those Belters or not? I'm kind of thinking he is.
I told you. I said keep your head down, keep your eyes open.
And your gun ready.
Especially in the Medina.
It's Gia. He did give Gia a cactus plant.
You think she cares about you? What's the name of the scumbag that paid you to lure him down to the Medina so they could jam up a cop?
No way. Wow, that's quite the accusation right there.
Bad.
You put your hands on her again.
Look at this.
And you see how fast I get out of this bed, Miller.
Well, this did not go how I thought it would. So he accused Gia of luring Havelock down there? That's cold, people. It might be true, but I don't know. I mean, they seem to care for each other. Wow, if that turns out to be true, that's going to be brutal for Havelock. Okay, so I'm guessing they're headed to Mars, right? I really would like to see what Mars looks like. Like an overview, see the domes. That'd be kind of neat. Well, I hope Lopez ain't dead.
Did you get enough sleep, Princess?
Man, they are beating
Come here
up.
and help me.
Damn. Naomi ain't playing around. Oh.
God damn it. Just hold him still.
What are they going to do? Are they going to try and... That was rough.
I'm not shit. I don't know what I'm doing.
Neither did he.
Just give him the shot.
Which one do I use first, the antisep or that?
Wow, Amos is in some pain here. R.I.P. Shed once again. I already miss him. Wow, what is that? Oh, it's just the cast, right?
Is anybody following us? No, sir. Scope's clear.
So as far as we know, nobody made it off the Dodge.
Correct.
And no one knows that we're alive.
Wow, now what do they do? So is Lopez dead?
And who just sent us a message?
Man, out the gate here. Anderson Station, is this a new place or a refinery? 11 years ago. I'm having a flashback. It's hard enough to keep up with the present.
This is Anderson Station.
Anderson Station, this is UN-1. Are you ready to surrender?
Surrender? The refinery?
Survivors of the Donninger. My name is Fred Johnson.
Yes, Mr. Johnson.
I can help you.
He shouldn't have been able to track us, but he did.
There's something going on at Tycho Station, people.
We have to go somewhere.
Well, I say we fly to the nearest Mars base and turn ourselves in.
That's an excellent idea. We'll just roll up in a stolen Mickey Corvette with a dead Martian in the trunk.
Man, Lopez did die.
No port is going to let us dock with our transponder off. And the minute we turn it on, every Martian ship in the system will know it.
Bro, they got no options.
We're the only survivors from the Canterbury and the Donninger. We look like terrorists.
I gotta agree with Holden here.
We're not going to Tycho.
Uh-oh.
You got any other ideas?
Who's in charge here?
I vote no.
Well, she's putting up to a vote, though.
Holden's got a point. We gotta go somewhere.
I'm not really hearing an argument against. Wow, is Amos gonna go against Naomi?
Then it's 2 against 2.
Wow.
We're not going anywhere.
All right, here we go, stalemates. Yeah, someone recorded it. I remember that when the fight was happening. Someone was recording it to show.
Sayonara, theory. That's my going away present to you.
Does Miller know yet?
You didn't show it.
I think Miller's gonna kill that dude.
Luckily, this asshole's not OPA. So, if he resists, take him out. Havelock is one of us. This is still our station. Let's make sure that people don't think otherwise.
Man, Sirius is a powder keg. He's looking rough.
You seen the footage of Havelock and Cathari? Planning on doing anything about it?
Yeah, I was planning on hunting the guy down and killing him.
Oh. Right after you find your little rich girl, shake down her daddy for a big payday.
He's not gonna let it go. I don't think it's for the money, though.
I'll leave you to it.
I'm a little bit shocked by this. I kind of thought Miller would go straight for that dude.
Everything going on out there, all this shitstorm that we're in, it's all got to do with her.
Does Shadid know about any of this?
I told her about Julie. I told her about the scopuli. I don't know. She didn't bite.
She told you to shut it down there, Hoss.
I need more pieces to the puzzle.
Does that mean Shadid's in on it? No way.
Miller, maybe this is above your pay grade.
I'm kind of thinking that, too. I don't know who you trust, though.
I don't think I can do it, huh?
Oh, that was a
I don't think I
shot.
can crack the case.
His ego just got hit.
Maybe. Until then, I'll do my pathetic best.
That's kind of a brutal conversation.
We want to negotiate peacefully.
Morama, I need you to listen very carefully.
That's Mr. Johnson.
We do not negotiate with terrorists. Is that clear?
Yes, I understand.
Don't seem like they have any weapons to fight with here.
Joe, we need to surrender now.
We have to fight back.
Man,
With what? We're not soldiers.
that's a tough situation here.
What was that? They're taking out the generators.
Oh,
Don't be scared, okay?
this is horrifying. So if it turns out Mr. Johnson destroyed that thing with all the kids on there, that's rough, people. I really thought Lopez was going to make it. I really did. I was kind of hoping for him. I kind of started liking him. I was kind of hoping he'd get to see that ocean on Mars.
What's going on?
I think Amos really wants to go against her and go to Tycho Station.
Why not go to Tycho if we got nowhere else to go?
Yep.
I always back your play because you always do the right thing. But usually I can figure out why.
It's not the place, it's the man.
Fred Johnson? So where should we go?
They have no place else to go. So is his leg already healed? That was fast. I mean, he was walking pretty good. No crutches, no nothing. That's impressive. Yeah, they got coffee. It's the little things. With all they've been through, it's the little things.
Tell Fred Johnson to clear us a berth. We're good to go.
Oh, check this out.
With our track record, we'll probably get Tycho blown to smithereens, too.
Holden had a good point, though. They're the only survivors of the Canterbury and the Doninger. Everyone's going to think they're terrorists.
I'm sorry about your partner. An appalling injustice. And I assure you, the piece of trash who tried to crucify him is not one of our ranks.
And he's trying to make the peace.
What's worse, he's not even remorseful.
Okay, he let the cat out of the bag right there.
How would you know that? Because as we speak, he's in an OPA safe house.
Wow. He's going to give him to Miller. What's he want in exchange, though?
There's a single contact in that unit. Call it, and you'll get Fila Kothari's location. He's yours to do whatever you think is right. Sounds like a bribe.
Wow, here we go.
I haven't asked you for anything.
That is true. He's about to, though.
What do you want? A simple...
What you want there, Mr. Dawes?
Exchange of information. Julimar was one of ours. I want to find out what happened to her just as much as you do.
This seems like the kind of conversation that should happen in private. They're just having it at a bar.
Let's do this again real soon.
Oh, that hoss is dead.
They're done talking. So no one outside the station knows this is happening. That's why we need to surrender. Do it. We're surrendering to the Marines. We did everything we could.
What choice do you have? They're gonna blow you away.
Show Daddy house manual. Okay?
This is brutal.
You in command, this is Anderson Station. We're issuing our unconditional surrender. We're unarmed. We have women and children with us. Copy? I repeat, we surrender.
Silence. They're gonna get blown away.
A pure and clean contracted water
Amos,
on its way to
get over here. Check this out.
Asteroid Belt Station. This was the scene as police were assaulted, businesses looted, and innocent
All right, he's got a limp.
near industrial accident. And at the
Can't be.
What's up?
Hey. Oh.
They're gonna show his face.
Well, partner, it's gonna be kind of hard for you to stay anonymous now. Let me know if you want your face to look a little different.
Seems like a big dude. All right, good job, Miller.
Julie Mao. You know her. You were trying to stop her from getting involved in something ugly. I want to know what it was.
She was hanging around some hardcore OPA.
Like?
Anderson Dawes.
You think Julie's dead? You should have stopped
No
her.
way.
You in command, we surrender. Do you copy? Imaloda not listening.
What do we do?
This is so uncomfortable.
4 days ago, the miners working for the Anderson Hyosung Corporation took control of the station in an effort to protest the treatment of our children. She and the other children have been diagnosed with what the medics are calling hypoxic brain injury.
This sucks.
We have tried repeatedly to surrender to the UN Marines, but we just wanted to be heard for the sake of our children.
Oh, man. This is hard to watch here. The hell? Okay, that is awful. That is so disturbing.
Anderson Station is secure. All terrorists have been subdued.
All terrorists have been subdued. What a bunch of assholes.
Well done, Colonel. Well done.
The Butcher. Man, what a horrible, horrible thing.
You have my solemn promise that you will not be harmed, and you will be granted safe harbor on Tycho. You will need to change your transponder code in order to avoid detection. Safe journey.
Man, Naomi's kind of right. Can't trust this dude. Naomi's got some pretty good smarts about her.
We need to give the ship a new name to complete the override.
Screaming Firehawk.
Oh, here we
Yeah,
go.
let's advertise that we're a gunship.
I like it.
Flying Alamo.
Flying Alamo.
Rocinante.
Huh? I like it. I know a lady named
nice.
Rocinante. She was good to me.
Well, what are the odds of that? Flying Alamo. I kind of like that. Gotta do it there, Haas. There's no going back now.
What you need, Mr. Star Helix?
Looking for a Sherpa.
Sas.
Miller's quick to go to like the physical intimidation. I mean, that's his move. Wow, so the mice are actually robots, probably collecting data? That means that mouse in Rich Girl and Mao's apartment was probably collecting data. Well, at least I'll get a chance to relax for just a little bit. With everything they've been through, I mean, they kind of need this. Except Naomi, it looks like. I wonder if she actually does know Mr. Johnson, or at least what he did, that he's the Butcher. Shocker. You know, with as much as he's been poking around, I'm kind of shocked that this hasn't happened already. That doesn't surprise me at all. That episode was kind of brutal. It was very brutal, actually. Seeing a minor colony who was basically just protesting because their kids were getting diagnosed with brain injury, get labeled as terrorists, and then get blown up. That's pretty brutal, people. That is so brutal. That is disturbing, actually. And especially them, you know what? I don't even want to talk about it. It was awful. It was awful. And the Butcher, I guess, Mr. Johnson, oh man, what a horrible human being. You know what? That's just awful. What a horrible, horrible thing to do. This is going to be a tough show to watch when it comes to stuff like that for me, because it's just, they're showing kids. And then, you know, the kids, and you know it's coming. Like, we knew the whole place was going to get blown up, especially when they weren't responding to the surrender message. And then Mr. Johnson's just standing there, aka the Butcher. Go to hell, Butcher. That was awful. You know what? That was bad. I have a feeling every single time I see Butcher on here, it's just going to be pure disdain for that dude. I am not going to like that dude at all for what he did. You know, who cares what he does now? That was awful. You know what? Let's get off that. All right, so as far as Holden and the crew, we saw a little bit of a power shift right there, but it looks like they're going to work as a team, and they got a much-needed break, I guess, the things they've been through. But Holden made a pretty damn good point. I mean, they're the only survivors of the Canterbury and the Donninger. Everyone's going to think they're terrorists, so they have no safe place to go. Obviously, this is pretty risky, going to see Mr. Johnson, but what else? What other options do they really have? So they're kind of, and then when I guess Holden saw himself with the Remember the Can't, and he saw his face there, I mean, that just takes it to a whole new level of their involvement in this right here. So they're in such a tough spot. I don't really know what options they have. No one is going to believe them no matter what they say, to whoever they say it to. So I don't know. We saw a lot of Miller's investigation into Rich Girl Mal. I got to admit, though, I'm going to have to rewatch this episode. There was so much detail. I did lose a little bit of track of it here. All I really know is that there's a lot of stuff going on, and I was a little bit surprised that Miller was kind of doing it out in the open as much as he was, and the end scene didn't surprise me at all. I was kind of thinking, you know, what he's doing, he knows that she is involved with everything that's going on. And like the conversation he had with Mr. Dawes in the bar, I kind of felt like that was a little bit out in the open. There's a lot of ears right there. So it didn't really surprise me at all that he got taken. What did surprise me, though, was the interaction he had in the beginning with him and Havelock, though, where he actually, I guess, kind of accused Gia of luring Havelock down there. That was a bit, if that turns out to be true, that's going to be rough there, because you can tell Havelock cares for Gia. I don't know if it's in a romantic sense. It might be in a romantic sense, but he does care for Gia on a different level right there. I think it's just more than, you know, teaching them hand sign language and the Belter Creole and stuff like that. So I don't, that surprised me a little bit. I'm really kind of in shock, though. Not shock, just disturbed. Disturbed is the right word. This was a hard episode to watch just because you knew, or at least I kind of felt, that minor colony, they were going to get blown up. That was going to be awful. I didn't really put two and two together. I mean, I could tell that it was Mr. Johnson, but for them to then call him the Butcher after, that was just rough. That was rough. Hard episode, but a lot of detail. I'm definitely going to have to rewatch this episode. You know what? I probably have more to say, but I'm not going to. Until next time.